Cumberland Island is a great place to spend a day or a weekend. Let me show you the place and give you a few tips on how to visit. Cumberland Island National Seashore in Georgia is part of the national park system. Although it's not a flagship national park, it is a national seashore. It is an island, barrier island, right off of the coast of Georgia, not too far away from Jacksonville, actually, Florida. And it is absolutely beautiful out here. Now, the main way to get out here is through a ferry boat that you have to pay, a fee to get on, and that leaves from St. Mary's, Georgia. And it has got a schedule, and the boat that we were on held about 140 people. It was packed on the way out, which is a Saturday. And we took this boat. You basically have to check in. Now, you do have to check in early. You have to check in at 8 o'clock for the 9 o'clock boat ride. And that's because there's a lot of gear that they try to bring on board for the people who are camping, for the people who are biking, and so on. The ferry ride goes through this little river channel before heading out to basically a gap between the mainland and the Cumberland Island. And it's about a 45-minute ride. The boat goes pretty slow, and it's actually pretty nice scenery coming out and enjoying the scenery on the way out. There are two places where this boat docks. The first place is called the Ice House, and it docks there briefly, and it goes on to Sea Camp, where a lot of the campers and the beachgoers and bicyclists go. If you get off the boat at the Ice House, you can do a nice 4+ mile trail that goes to the southern part of the island. It goes first down this beautiful walkway with moss-covered trees that forms a tunnel, like your iconic southern route that comes out. And then it goes to this place called the Dungeness Ruins, which is a place that the Carnegies, actually, not Andrew Carnegie, but I guess part of his family came and built this for themselves and for their kids. And there's a little compound there where there are support buildings, a horse stable, ice house is for the ice that they carried in here. So it's a very nice area that you can just walk up to. And then from there, you start heading towards the beach. Now, on the way out towards the beach, there is a parallel path called the boardwalk that was actually quite nice. So definitely when you see the boardwalk sign on the way out towards the beach, get on the boardwalk. It's a lot more pleasant than walking on the sandy trail. And before long, you will see sandy path and into the dunes, which are kind of hard to walk on, actually. The sand is very fine, white, very fine sand, and it goes to this expanse of beach. Now, because this is a national seashore and you need to take a ferry to get here, there just simply aren't that many people here by the time you get to the beach. So it can really spread out and have a lot of privacy out here. The path then goes basically right up the beach for a couple of miles, and on a hot day when it's sunny, it is actually very, very hot. So you got to make sure you have enough water. There is water over by the Dungeness Ruins, nice picnic area that you can sit and fill up your water bottle and get a drink, but there's really no water in the beach, so you have to be prepared to have some water and refreshments as you go up the beach to make sure you don't get yourself dehydrated and get into heat stroke or anything like that. As you return from the beach, you will get on this boardwalk that goes over the dunes this time, which makes it so nice to be able to just walk across without having to walk on sand, which is very difficult to walk on compared to regular paths. While the walk up the beach is very sunny, the sand is actually not bad. It's pretty well packed, so you're not really walking on very soft sand. According to one of the signs, Cumberland Island has one of the largest tides. I think, if I remember right, it's like 6 to 9 feet of tide The beach, can be very nice and compact. They built the boardwalk not only to make it easier for us to walk, but it's really to protect the dunes so that people don't trample all over it and protect the dunes. And as you're walking back from the beach after all the sun, you're just kind of dying for some shade. And there it is. You see the shade coming up, and you actually get into the shade. It continues on the boardwalk, and there's a nice shower that they put in there so that you can wash yourself out if you spend time in the water, on the beach, and so on. And then there is this nice picnic area with beautiful trees, and you just kind of sit down and relax. And then it goes into the camping area. There are various campsites. There's a couple of group campsites, and you basically walk down in the middle of the trees, and then you get to the sea camp dock over here, where there is a small ranger station, and there's actually air conditioning in the ranger station. So if you get really hot, you can always go into the air conditioning here. And there's some beautiful trees with picnic benches overlooking the dock, and it is just gorgeous with breeze that comes from the water that makes it nice and cool. Going from the Sea Camp dock to the Ice House dock is the river trail, which basically goes right along the water here on the western side of the island, and going through this beautiful walkway with live oak canopy with the moss on it, and it's just very relaxing. Now this loop is very nice in that it touches all the major areas. For sure, there's the beach with lots of birds and seagulls and so on, and they have these little holes that are made by the crabs. And there is a maritime forest, a live oak canopy that's everywhere that provides beautiful shade. And then there's the saltwater and the marsh areas that flank the boardwalk, often between the dunes and the inland area. And then, of course, you have the beautiful ruins that you can walk around in. So it's got a little bit of everything. The island is actually quite big. We're down in this loop is only touching a small part of it. And there are bike trails that you can go up probably 15-20 miles of going north. And there's a couple of sites in the northern part that is closed because of the pandemic right now. But you can rent a bike here. We can bring you lots of people bought their own bike here that they ride going upwards towards the northern end of the island. There's a settlement, the First African Baptist Church. There's a plum orchard, which is closed. And there's trails and roads that can go all the way up the island here. One of the features of the Cumberland Island National Seashore are the wild horses. They're just out there grazing by themselves. The ranger does warn you to not get too close because they might kick you and bite you. So stay away from them, observe them from a distance. But it is very interesting to see wild horses out here. And then this has also got a lot of sea turtles, nesting area by the beach. And they're highly protected. And they're very vulnerable, especially when they're nesting and hatching their eggs. So be careful when you are on the beach. Make sure you don't disturb their nests. So the Cumberland Island National Seashore is just a simply beautiful place to spend a day or a weekend. The camping area is beautiful under the live oak canopy. There's a beach for the people to do things. There's biking that you can do. There's hiking. There's certainly fishing. And it's just a beautiful area to spend some time out here in a beautiful setting. Highly recommended coming out. You do have to pay for the boat ride, which you can look up on the website. We'll put the description. We'll put a link in the description box below here, and just come out and enjoy yourself. Lots of family out here. Here are some tips of visiting Cumberland Island National Seashore. Number 1, get your reservation early because you need to take a ferry to get here. The ferry costs $30 round trip per person, so get your reservations in early. Number 2, check in early. The ferry that we took left at 9 o'clock, but the check-in starts at 8, and yes, it does take a little bit of time to check in. You have to confirm your reservation. They have to make sure you paid. And this is step 2. You have to pay the National Park Service their fees before you can get on the boat. Number 3, at 8 o'clock, they start to load the gears for the campers and for the bicyclists and for the picnickers. If you have a cooler, get there early so they can load your stuff before they load the people. They have little carts at the port, at the dock, that you can use to transport your gear onto the boat and off the boat on the other side. Be sure to bring lots of water. Yes, there are a few spots on the island where you can get potable water, but there's no food, there's no concession. Bring everything that you think you're going to need onto the island. And yes, you can bring coolers and all sorts of stuff like that to enjoy your day at the beach or to go camping, but bring all the gear and all the food that you need. There is bike rental on the island. It's first come, first served. So you may or may not get your bike, but if you do get a bike, there's beautiful trails that you can ride all the up and down the island here. It's actually a very nice place to ride the bike. We are on our way to visit all the national parks in the United States. Follow along by hitting the subscribe button below. Hit the notification bell so you know when a new video is released. Give it a thumbs up if you like this video, and please share it with everybody that you know.